When I was a football coach or soccer coach, I loved to teach my players that were ages 8 to about 12. See, in those years, most players truly fully transition from learning the task of how to kick the ball to fully seeing the entire pitch or the field and how each task applies to the match. And I recall one time I was coaching an age 10 team in India, and they had learned the different positions and responsibilities on the pitch. And so I gave them the opportunity to make their own formations and assign positions for an end of session scrimmage. And this allowed the players to experiment with different formations, a 4-4-2 formation versus a 4-3-3, and if this means nothing to you, it's totally okay. The point was I was trying to teach different positions and increase overall understanding of the game. And I would give the players a few minutes to come up with their positions and formations as a team, and then we would begin to play. And so I gave this challenge to one of my teams, and at the end of a few minutes, I saw a goalie in the box and 10 strikers. That's right, there was one person in the goalie box as goalie, and everybody else was in one single position. They all wanted to be strikers up front. See, all of the players wanted to score goals in this single position. Nobody else wanted to play any other position. And so I smiled and I asked the team about the opportunities that they could create with this use of space. And they looked up and they said, "Miss Ember, ma'am, we want to score goals. Plus, he's a really good goalie. We'll be fine." Fair enough. So I let them play for a few minutes in deep frustration as they were running into each other and they were ill-positioned against the opposing team. And then I paused the scrimmage for a moment and I asked the question again. They could continue to play in the format that they had, or they could make some adjustments. So this was totally their opportunity. And the players looked around the pitch totally bewildered. And so you see, they really all wanted to be strikers, but they couldn't play and perform at a high level when everybody was in the exact same position. They needed to be in different roles. And so one player went to defender, and then another went to midfielder, and slowly but surely the players began to disperse to various parts of the pitch. And when the movement seemed to stop, I asked the same question about different opportunities and different options created by the use of space. And this time, the players had many answers. And this was a perfect illustration for the players to see the value of each position and the importance of staying somewhat in an agreed upon formation. And so the players then pointed out a few different advantages that they had in playing different positions. See, first, with people in different positions, there were different viewpoints. And people were able to see the pitch from various angles and communicate with their team to have a better holistic understanding about what was going on in the match so that they could work together more efficiently. Players being spread out across the pitch did mean different angles and viewpoints, but it also meant that the teammates had to be intentional about raising their heads, looking up, and seeing those that were open. And it meant being intentional about listening to those that were in different positions and had various valuable viewpoints. I remember I was working with one leadership team that was coming up with some ideas for a large healthcare company. And the leadership team was filled with doctors and management and other leadership positions. And we came up with great ideas on how to improve our processes and our way of work. But there was one problem. We didn't have any insight from the people that were going to be implementing the process changes. Input from nurses and nurse techs and patient companions, clinical secretaries. They had different viewpoints on how the processes would affect the patient care and how they would be implemented, and other insights for what could be improved and what obstacles could be faced or might be faced with those proposed changes. See, different positions provide different viewpoints. Also, people in different positions were able to move more quickly, and the team was able to be more agile. And if everyone was in the same position, they were cramped and they were on top of each other. And when they had teams with people in different positions, they were able to spread out and they were able to move the ball more quickly and more efficiently. I recall one time I was working with a team overseas, filled with people from different professions and backgrounds and insights and strengths, and it was because of this breadth of talent that we were able to face challenges with confidence and quickness. I recall one time we had a team member lose a bag, and in that moment, one used his networking skills to make calls and talk to the locals to get the bag and keep it safe, and another used his analytical skills to think through the logistics of getting the bag back, and another provided emotional support to the team member that had lost the bag, and another worked on replenishing the essentials from the bag until the original bag was returned. And this variety of skill sets and know-hows allowed the team to work together very quickly and to move rapidly to overcome our challenges. And I can only imagine how differently this would have gone if everybody had the same strengths in only one of these areas. See, people in different positions, when you have people in different positions, you have different sorts of strengths, you have different insights, you have different skills and know-how, and you can be more agile and you can move more quickly. And also, people in different positions offer a greater depth of options and opportunities. See, I asked the players what opportunities they now had for ball movement with everybody in the same position, and they kind of scratched their heads and they didn't have a lot of options. However, whenever they spread out, they could look across the field and they had limitless options and opportunities to move and grow and progress. And it reminds me one time I was working with a team that had almost all strengths in relationship building. And this was really awesome because everyone was super friendly and kind, and it made for a true family-like atmosphere. But the downside is that there was hardly any people on the team that had a big strength in strategic thinking and influencing and executing. And at the end of the day, this severely hindered the team's ability to perform at its highest level. And we were intentional to recruit a more well-rounded team, bringing people that brought more insights and a greater depth and variety of insights and value and strength. And this allowed us to have more opportunities to grow as a team. So here's what I want you to do whenever you are organizing your team. I want you to look for people that have different positions of strength and insight and background and viewpoints, positions that will allow your team to provide different viewpoints, to be more agile, and to expand your opportunities to grow as a team and to score really big goals.